The Young and the Restless basically stays at number 8 in February 2022. Although it hasn't exactly improved, honestly, it hasn't also been quite as boring. But the biggest factor always still remains with this show lately is that it doesn't even have real storylines, it seems. But the main thing that keeps this above the 3 soaps below it for me in the month of February is a recast. Robert Newman is the new Ashlyn Locke, replacing Richard Burgi. I'm a pretty big fan of Guiding Light, or was a big fan of Guiding Light. When it was on the air, I was a big fan of Josh and Reva. So I do enjoy Robert Newman's work, and I already think, and I don't think I'm being biased either, he has already brought way more layers to the character of Ashlyn. I have yet to fast forward a scene with Robert Newman as Ashlyn so far, and I couldn't say that in fucking October, November, December, January. This show was very strong fast forward material for me. But Robert Newman, I'm enjoying his work already. I think he already brings some energy to the show. I just wish that energy would, make its way to the writing room, but I don't know if it's going to do that. Ashlyn's story has kind of been Victor having Michael track down some news on Ashlyn and see that Ashlyn was faking his cancer. That's going to be the big reveal, or I think already was. I'm recording this towards the end of February. Haven't seen, not all the episodes of February have aired on Young and the Restless yet, but nothing's going to change it from being number 8. So I'm enjoying Ashlyn. I'm also enjoying the fact that Adam and Sally have finally hooked up. I said in one of my last Young and the Restless videos that I like the potential of Adam and Sally together. I do think there's chemistry there. So I'm glad that they slept together and they actually seem to be putting this couple together for now. So those have been the 2 most positive things for me where the Young and the Restless is concerned. There's been some other things going on and we'll talk about it. I don't know how I feel about all of it. One thing I'll talk about is Billy and his podcast. I don't know if this is supposed to be a storyline, but it's not a storyline. Billy has been having insomnia, and I've already seen all the people making fun of this online, and rightfully so, that Billy can't find out a way to sleep, that maybe he should watch The Young and the Restless, because I've been saying this since I've been covering this since the fall and doing these rankings, that The Young and the Restless cures insomnia. So I don't know if the show is doing this purposefully or if they are just this out of touch, but that whole story is ridiculous. And the fact that they're giving Billy his own set for the podcast, and yet Billy and Lily always have to have sex on the couch, speaks volumes about the priorities of this show. I just think this show is so lost and really needs new producers and new writing. It just does. Tess and Mariah need a storyline that doesn't revolve around a man. I think them being lesbians on this show and then a man always kind of being the drama of their relationship doesn't make a whole lot of sense and needs to change. Once again, another incident of these American soap operas stuck way in the past and not catching up to modern times. Tess and Mariah's storylines show that a lot, in my opinion. The other big story, of course, has continued to be baby Dominic and all of that drama with Devon, and now Dominic is sick and Devon is a match. The entirety of this storyline has been so boring, and Abby and Chance are by far the biggest fast forward material for me on The Young and the Restless, and there's a lot because it's overall a pretty boring show, but nothing to me is more boring than Abby and Chance. I'm sorry. Anytime they're in a scene together, I groan and just want to fast forward. I don't always fast forward, but the vast majority of the time I do. Now, I guess the other big story that kind of came about at the end of February is a very mixed bag for me. It's the Jack story and his son Chemo, who has been long forgotten about, which makes the show look bad, that the fact that they just kind of buried their Asian character who's connected to one of the main characters on the show in Jack Abbott and the main family, the Abbott family. They bring him back, kind of, only to kill him off. So they're killing off Jack's son Chemo after keeping him off the show this whole time. Really grinds my gears, honestly, because there is so much history here that could have been played out, that killing off Chemo makes zero sense. So of course that's what Young and the Restless does, because this show has to do all of their storylines off camera, apparently, because they can't have storylines on camera. They hardly do. So killing off Chemo makes no sense at all on any kind of story level. And I get that. I've heard the rumors that they're bringing in Chemo's granddaughter to the show for Jack, I guess, but I feel like we're not going to get a whole lot of this because they skip over every story beat, or just have every story beat take place off camera. This show needs to give us actual storylines. I don't know how many months I can ask, but they clearly don't listen. Other than that, I don't have a lot more to talk about when it comes to The Young and the Restless. I think I gave the positives. I like Adam and Sally. That is one of the only positives going. I like Robert Newman as the new Ashland. We'll see where they take the character. This could be the end of his relationship with Victoria, which isn't the worst thing, but I hope they give Ashland a whole lot more to do, because Robert Newman is bringing an energy to the show that it otherwise doesn't have. A lot of the cast phones it in, and I don't blame them, because the writing has been phoning it in since Josh Griffith came back aboard. Josh Griffith, I'm just going to keep reiterating this every time I make a Young and the Restless video. Josh Griffith needs to go. This show needs some new blood and some new energy, because overall it is still boring and there's no real storylines, and the few that they have, most of the beats take place off camera.